We're listening to Sri Sri Radhika's Aṣṭottara-Śata-Nāma-Stotraṁ.
Sri Radhika-Aṣṭottara-Śata-Nāma-Stotraṁ. Sri Radha Namah. avīkṣyātmeśvarīm kācid vṛndāvana-maheśvarīm tat-padāmbhoja-mātraika-gatir dāsy ati-kātarā patitā tat-saras-tīre rudaty arta-ravākulam tat-chrī-vaktrekṣaṇāvāptyai nāmāny etāni saṁjagau. Sri Radhika Aṣṭottara-Śata-Nāma-Stotraṁ.
The first verse of this Sri Radhika Aṣṭottara-Śata-Nāma-Stotraṁ is discussed here. Raghunath Das Goswami, he is saying, Raghunath Das Goswami is glorifying the name of Srimati Radhika. He is saying, I'm very eager to get the darshan of the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. This is my only goal. This is what I want to attain, nothing else. I'm a very low dāsy. My Praneshwari, Sri Radhika, I'm so eager to get her darshan. In this way, Raghunath Das Goswami is residing at Rādhākunda. And he is continuously crying to attain the darshan of Srimati Radhika. And while crying, this nāmāny is coming out of his heart. So here, Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, I'm a very insignificant dāsy. The translation here of this verse is one gopi, a maidservant, whose only shelter was Radha's lotus feet, not seeing her queen, fell down on the bank of the Kunda and cried, overcome by the pain. She uttered these names for attaining sight of Radharani's beautiful face. In this stotraṁ, Raghunath Das Goswami is glorifying the name of Srimati Radhika. And he's saying here, any dāsy, one gopi, one dāsy, a maidservant, is very, very eager for the darshan of Srimati Radhika. Like lying down at the bank of the Rādhākunda, crying very profusely and singing the names of Srimati Radhika.
saṁjagau
She's glorifying the names of Srimati Radhika. Which dāsy? A dāsy of Srimati Radhika.
tat-padāmbhoja-mātraṁ अपनी प्राणेश्वरी राधा रानी के चरण कमल ही जिनकी एकमात्र गति है.
So the only goal, the only desire to attain is the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. A very one-pointed dāsy, is Raghunath Das Goswami is describing himself like this. So a commentary in Bengali. Srimad Raghunath Das Goswami is glorifying 108 names of Srimati Radhika in this stotraṁ. Bhagavan, his name, his lila, his roop, the dham, everything is Svaprakash, like self-manifested. In the first canto it is said it says that Bhagavan is Svarat. It's like Swayam Prakash, self-manifested. Nobody has like created him. He's himself, like he manifested himself. His name, his Leela, Roop, Dham, everything is also Swayam Prakash. And Radharani also, she's Swayam Prakash. So the Swarup Shakti, everything is also Swayam Prakash Tattva, is divine, transcendental, Satchidananda Maya. Sevan Mukh Jiva, a servant, like a devotee who has the tendency to serve. This divinity is manifesting on the tongue of this devotee. So our senses are material, our body is material, everything is material. And through the Atma, the whole body is working. Senses, body, everything is material. How then can we relish these divine names in this material body? How can we do Nam Kirtan, Darshan, Shravan Kirtan, and so on? Here the answer is given. Rupa Goswami is saying in Bhakti-rasa Sindhu, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Gram Indriyai Sevam Mukhi Jivadau Swayam Eva Spuratya. Krishna's name, his form, his dham, his leela, his parikar, they are all chinmay. But it says here, Nabhavet Grayam. Our material senses cannot perceive it. With these material eyes, we cannot see him. With these material senses, we cannot get darshan. We cannot, experience the divine name. Because something which is divine and chinmay cannot be understood by the material senses. So how then can we perceive it? We have to endeavor, and through chanting the holy name, gradually our senses become transcendental. Sevan mukhi jivado. If one becomes Sevan Mukh, if one becomes turned towards Bhagavan, does seva like Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, and so on, then this can happen. If we sit idle and don't endeavor, then nothing will happen. So one has to endeavor and then one becomes successful. If one is afraid, if one looks towards the ocean, like there are so many waves, but one has to go into the ocean. One has to do something. So if one is practicing gradually, one will realize this thing. Then one becomes Sevan Mukh. One goes into the temple, gets darshan of Thakurji. So even if one has no realizations while getting darshan of Thakurji, still one should continue going and going. Continue hearing Harikatha, reading, doing kirtan, chanting, Nam Kirtan with the tongue, like with the eyes darshan, with the ears hearing, Harikatha, cleaning the temple, serving with one's hands. Engaging these material senses in service. Like how Ambarish Maharaj has done this. In this way, continuously doing service one day, then our Upanishads is also they are also saying that doing, continuously doing what is happening then. Swayam eva spurataya. This Nam, Roop, Lila will manifest on one's tongue or in one's material senses. Naturally, automatically. It's a nitya siddha vastu. And seeing this endeavor, this mercy Shakti is coming and then they manifest. Nitya siddha Krishna prem kabusa bhyanai shavanadi sudachitte karinudai. When we perform service continuously, engaging our senses, which are material, but in spiritual activities, then this can be transformed, then the name will manifest on one's tongue. So we can be called a bhakta, a devotee, when we are performing like these activities of bhakti. And if one is anyabhilasita shunyam, gyan karma anavidam, without any coverings of gyan and karma. So everything should be done for the happiness of Krishna. We should perform service to please Krishna. And we should be also very greedy and eager and full of enthusiasm while performing this service to Krishna. If somebody has eagerness in one's seva and one's bhajan, this is the pran, actually the life of one's seva. Otherwise, the seva becomes niras, as without any rasa. If there's no eagerness, we want to try. One is listening to Rādhikā, but not really relishing it. One looks at the clock, how long it will go, still. So then one is leaving. One has no real eagerness for these limbs of bhakti. No greed for hearing katha, no lalasa, no utkanta. Without utkanta, darshan, kirtan, harikatha, everything is niras. Something you will get, but not if you do it like as if you do it with eagerness. It will take long time. One will, if you have lalasa, greed, then very quickly the mercy is coming towards the devotee. Those who have lots of lalasa, greed, they very, very quickly realize Bhagavan. Some, they live their whole life in Vrindavan, but they have no realization. And some, they stay here for a short time, and they have very much eagerness and greed, and they quickly can progress. Not if they don't get darshan or kirtan or harikatha for one day, they become very eager and restless. Today I haven't completed my vrat. Today I have not received darshan or no harikatha. So this utkanta is the pran, the life of this bhajan. Eagerness is very important. And the goal should be to give happiness to Krishna, not for oneself. We do kirtan, we hear harikatha. Everything should be done to give happiness to our Ishta. Then we become nishvat, ahaitukhi. Everything becomes without selfishness. Only to please Krishna we live in Vrindavan. Only to please him we hear harikatha, we do kirtan, we tend japamala. Whatever we do is to please Krishna. To please him, everything is meant to please him. And if we do this also with eagerness, vyakulta, then one quickly can progress. Like the mother is very eager. May my little boy has eaten enough. She's always very worried about the boy and very eager that he's nicely fed and taken care of. As much eagerness as we have, In that way, in the same way, then, to the same degree, we become unmuk towards seva, like become interested in seva, eager for seva. Vyakulta, this restlessness, he is saying. If we have this, we become unmuk. Like we turn towards Krishna and we are eligible that this name will manifest on our tongue. We will realize Bhagavan in our lives. As much eagerness as we have, as much the name and the leelas and everything will manifest in our lives. As much bhakti as we have. In the same way, the kripa of Bhagavan is also flowing towards the devotee. So this wealth is bhakti, prem bhakti, in the heart of the devotee. This is actually the wealth through which Krishna can be bought. According to this eagerness, according to how much eagerness we have for seva and so on, to that degree the name manifests on the tongue. If somebody is performing bhajan with great eagerness, he has eagerness to live in Vrindavan. He likes chanting, he likes hearing katha, he is so happy in Vrindavan. Here in Vrindavan, Radharani and Shyamasundar are everywhere present. So this person will realize this due to this utkanta, eagerness. And some may even, he's saying again, live for the whole life in Vrindavan, but they don't have this realization. Here the commentary says our senses, our body, everything is material, and naam, roop, gun, lila are chinmay, transcendental. Again, he's saying like material things cannot be perceived, or something spiritual cannot be perceived by something material. Here again he says one should endeavor, and gradually even something material can transform into chinmay, transcendental, like a paraspa, like a sparsh, a spatch, a touchstone can transform iron in gold, only through touching. Bhakti, Jiva Goswami is saying, is a touchstone. And as much as you do bhakti, then gradually all the body, the senses, they become transcendentalized. It is seen in many devotees. So they are very, he's speaking about Premi Bhakta, advanced Vaishnavas, they sit in one place and their mind is going to Varshana, engaging in holy Leela, so they can do this. So they take Leela Darshan in other places. They sit in one spot and go with their mind to different Leela places. We know Raghunath Das Goswami also, he had some transformation on his material body, although in his meditation he was eating some kheer, only mentally. So the body, he's again saying, becomes chinmay, like the same way a touchstone can transform iron into gold. If one is rolling in the dust, like is very 24 hours engaged in, or twice as many hours a day to be engaged in bhakti, embracing the trees, touching tulsi leaves, tulsi plants, everything is chinmay. Seeing darshan, getting darshan of Thakurji in the temple, like doing shringa of Thakurji, worshipping Thakurji, decorating with shringa, kesha, touching Thakurji like they are chinmay, they are transcendental. And at the time of resting, you massage the lotus feet of the Thakurji. So continuously doing these activities, serving Thakurji and chanting the holy name. One should try like 24 hours to engage one's mind in bhajan, in sadhana bhajan. So we have found all these bodies after they left their bodies. We found all these personalities. But Narottam Das Thakur, he's speaking about Narottam Das Thakur. After leaving the body, he simply disappeared, like his body merged into the water, became milk. Sometimes Krishna is performing these leelas. Narottam Thakur ki jai. So he performed that kind of bhajan that the body became transcendental and was not found even anymore. So this is seen also in the life of Mirabai, dissolved. Mirabai also, her body was not found. Many sadhus also, their bodies had become Chinmay. Rasikananda Prabhu, his body was also not found after he left. He went to Kirchhoff Gopinath, and then he also was not found anymore. Mukunda Goswami. So he's speaking the names of different other personalities. This Mukunda Goswami also, he did Sankirtan at midnight, and then his body was also suddenly disappeared. He performed bhajan and was crying while doing bhajan, and then he left and was not found anymore. And even devotees then later on saw him again, like somehow performing bhajan. So this is possible. These pure devotees can do this. So they went into eternal dham, into this Nija Nikunja, into the eternal kunjas. When you asked sadhus where you come from and where you're living, or where have you lived previously before you came to Vrindavan, so these sadhus, they don't want to speak about their life, about their previous life. They say, my life, my house is Vrindavan. Everything else before was like not reality. So my real home is Vrindavan. I want to forget all like my previous history. Even he says many sadhus, they don't actually, they have forgotten where they have taken birth, and because this is our Nija Desh, our eternal home, this Vrindavan. So many sadhus are described whose body was not found after they have left this mortal world. Also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how can he merge into Jagannath? It is impossible. Those who are speaking like this, they have a material intelligence. They don't understand this transcendence. Thakurji is Chinmay. So those who have no faith at Mahaprabhu, like also went into Lord Jagannath and left, like merged into Lord Jagannath, they have a material vision. They also consider Jagannath to be like a piece of wood, like this. It is an aparad if one thinks like this. There are many incidents where great personalities performed bhajan and their bodies became chinmay. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he is saying,
छत को बदलना है। कभी क्या होता है ना, छत खराब हो जाती है, दीवार ठीक है, हम क्या करते हैं, छत को ठोक दे के, वो क्या कहते हैं, बीम बल्ली भल्ली दे करके, क्या वो ठोक ना कि उसको दे करके छत को सही रख देते हैं, दीवार खराब हो गई है, वो प्रश्न ने दिया है, तो क्या क्या छत तो सही है, पर दीवारों को तोड़ कर देते हैं, दूसरी दीवार बन गई, फिर छत से लग गई दीवार, तो छत को पता ही नहीं कि दीवार से बदल गई। उसी प्रकार भजन करते हैं।
So if somebody is performing really bhajan, he is gradually like transformed into some spiritual substance. This is the power of bhakti. Again, he says it's like a touchstone. So one should also continue to be in touch with his bhakti, with the holy name, with the limbs of bhakti. And the body definitely becomes Chinmaya. There is no doubt, and there's so many evidences out there. So our acharyas, they have discussed a lot about this speciality of bhakti, that this bhakti is very powerful and transforms the bhakti, and all vikara, everything material is destroyed. No kam, krodh, lobh. They are like children, no? These pure devotees, they don't have any anatas in their hearts. No anger, no greed, no lust. So he's speaking about one Baba from Bengal. He was like a little child. He had no like transformations, no anger or anything in his heart. He was like always acting like a happy young boy. Whether he had taken already prasad or not, he was not aware about this because he was so immersed, absorbed in his bhajan. Sometimes he said, I have already taken prasad, but he had not taken. So he was totally apart, far away from this material world, detached. This is the prabhav, the influence of this bhajan. The result of bhajan is not to have like a big mat and many disciples and to have a high position, be acharya. This is not the result of like bhajan, doing bhajan. To be very famous, have many disciples, be very rich and very well known. This is not like the result of mercy through bhajan. Actually, the day and night doing bhajan, this is the result of bhajan, or the mercy coming from Krishna. If somebody can really do bhajan 24 hours. So when we have many material desires, Prabhu is giving us like opulence and position and name and fame. Because this desire is still within our hearts, so Krishna is giving us everything what we desire. In the way how we perform bhakti, Krishna is responding accordingly. So he is supplying what we really want. So this is called kapat bhakti. Jiva Goswami is saying this. If we do kapat bhakti, we also get kapat kripa. Then we get lots of mats, disciples, respect, and lots of puja. But this is, can be a big obstacle on the path of bhakti. It is a kind of anatta, he's saying. And there may have been some aparadh, there was some desire for yas, fame, or something in our hearts, and this comes out now. But actually it's not real mercy. It's not really the result of kripa. It is the kripa of Maya. So giving up everything and having only Thakurji and no sambandha or relation with anything in this material world. Oh, this is real kripa when one can do this. So how this tanmayata can come? How can one become absorbed in bhakti? One should be always eager to complete one's rounds. One should be eager to always hear katha every day, serve Thakurji. If one is doing like this, performing one's bhakti like this, what is happening then? One retains the mercy of Prabhu, and one's heart and the senses, like the Nam and everything becomes Svaprakash. The tongue is chanting the holy name, the eyes get darshan of Thakurji, like everything becomes Chinmoy and Svaprakash, like the Leelas, everything manifests in these material senses. Or more or less the senses have become spiritualized, and then this divinity can be realized. There was one Baba who did also bhajan in his kutir, and he saw a shadow walking outside of his bhajan kutir. He thought maybe it's a ghost. He was asking, who is outside? Tell me, what's your name? Then this shadow came to this Baba and said, I'm Pushta-rok, I'm a disease. Yeah. And then he said, I'm your prarabdha karma. I have to enter into your body. Because from your last life, you have performed some sin, and 12 years you have to suffer. But the Baba was not afraid. Whatever comes, he was thinking. Then you come to enter into my body, the Baba said. But then this disease said, but you are continuously chanting the holy name. I cannot enter into your body. Then the Baba said, okay, then I stop chanting. But it was very difficult because his tongue was continuously chanting Harinam. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. The tongue was continuously chanting the holy name. Premanand, there is a song in Manasiksha. Practice now and control your tongue. Continue chanting Hari Hari Hari. What happens then? Even if you leave your body and if you're very sick and out of consciousness, if you're unconscious, continuously still the tongue will chant automatically by itself. You will not realize it because the tongue is so addicted to the name, the tongue is so accustomed to chant continuously. So this Baba couldn't stop chanting. So this disease then said, then catch hold of your tongue. Mahaprabhu also, we know, he caught his tongue. So this Baba caught his tongue and stopped chanting, and then the disease entered into his body. But then he left, he stopped catching hold of his tongue as soon as his hand again was not touching the tongue anymore, the tongue again started moving. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then early in the morning, this disease came to this Baba and said, I'm leaving now. The Baba said, but you told me you stayed 12 years in my body. But this disease said, I cannot stay in your body because this vibration I cannot tolerate. So the sun, the Surya Narayan, the holy name is compared to Surya Narayan, very effulgent, and nothing can remain in front of this effulgent sun. Everything becomes like burnt to ashes. When Nam Prabhu will manifest, give us mercy and manifest on our tongue, then our life will disappear. We leave our bodies and we don't really realize that we die. And we again take birth wherever Jiva Goswami is describing this, that bhakti is so powerful when one is really practicing, one becomes so immersed, and one does not realize birth and death. It is going automatically. It is not painful anymore. It is like the Baba, like also, who is like Baba's pure devotees who are performing the bhajan. They don't realize that they leave the body and take birth again in another body. It is going so naturally. Somebody is giving the example, is drunken, full of alcohol and drinking a lot. He is lying in the gutter. He falls down on the street like this, falls down. He does not realize what he is doing. So somebody comes and changes maybe his clothes because he's dirty. But he does not realize that man, because he's so drunken. So drunk. In this way also, if somebody is drunken by this process of bhakti, he is not realizing how he's changing his body. So bhakti should be performed continuously and at any time. It has so much Shakti, we cannot imagine how powerful this bhakti is. This bhakti is very divine, and the Naam, Rup, Lila will manifest also on our material senses. Like we can get darshan wherever we sit, and we perform bhajan. We can sit in one place, and then when one is like perfected, then one can get darshan. And wherever leelas take place, go with the mind to that places and get darshan by mind, not by body. So one should not become niras, like give up hope. One should never give up hope. So one should give up the interest in material things. This hope for attaining perfection is very powerful. Rupa Goswami says, I never give up hope. Here Raghunath Das Goswami also is saying, the hope to get your darshan is so eager, is so deep and strong in my heart. So this pure devotee is praying this Asa Lata, this hope, the creeper of hope, is giving me life. I cannot give up this hope, this creeper of hope. So devotee should never give up hope. And the hope to attain mercy of Bhagavan, this hope should never be given up. In this way one should keep this hope, strong hope, and perform one's sadhana bhajan as good as one can. Therefore here Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, Prabhu's Naam, Rup, Gun, Lila is all divine, Swaprakash. If you perform doing kirtan, one day the Naam will manifest. We do a spurti like manifest on your tongue. Therefore I continuously do kirtan in the hope, with the hope that I attain your mercy.
etāni nāmāny saṁjagau Rādhā ke naam ka kirtan karna ho. Isliye
I glorify the names of Radha Rani because I want to get the darshan of the beautiful lotus feet of Srimati Rādhikā. So I chant the names of Srimati Rādhikā with the desire to get her darshan. In this way also we should continue chanting the holy name with a great hope to realize the divine couple. Here Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, I'm lying down, like he is lying down at the bank of Rādhākunda. So he is, Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, like Prabhu is continuously standing, like the Murtis in the temple, they are always standing to bestow mercy upon us, upon all the living entities. They are always ready for us. So Thakurji is ready to give his mercy, but we are not qualified to receive it. The sun is giving light everywhere, but who can receive it? This is a question. So rain falls everywhere, but somebody who has no container, he cannot keep the rain in a container. He cannot keep it. Therefore, one has to become qualified. The mercy is day and night being showered upon us. Radharani's mercy is being showered day and night upon us, but we have no patitā, no container. So we can become a container, or can receive a container if we become qualified. It means if we continuously cry and call for Krishna. If we cry and call out for Krishna, then we become eligible. And this is practically the container to keep this mercy. So Raghunath Das Goswami crying day and night, Hey Radhe, I'm burning in this viraha of yours. I'm very much suffering. Nothing is satisfying me. Hey Kishori, I'm your Kinkari. When are you giving darshan to me? So crying and begging for darshan. Raghunath Das Goswami is doing. In this way, he is also telling what we should do, following in his mood, very eager and crying a lot. We should do. So we should also perform this kirtan of the beautiful names of Rādhikā, of the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Namah, Hare Namah, Hare Namah Kevalam. Kalanastiva, Nastiva, Nastiva, Gatir. Anyata continuously doing kirtan, Nam Kirtan. So Karuna Maikishori, she came towards Raghunath Das Goswami. She says, Hey Raghunath, why are you crying? I'm very close to you. So Raghunath Das Goswami is hearing these words of Srimati Radhika. He thinks this is the voice of Srimati Radhika. So when a little child is crying because of hunger or pain or whatever, then the mother is running towards the child. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he is crying like a child, and Radharani is coming to him, and he sees that Kishori even is also crying and saying to him. Like Raghunath, I'm crying a lot for you. Hey Raghunath, your crying is giving teaching to the whole world. So Kishori says, Hey Raghunath, you are my dāsy. You are crying so much for me. And you're doing this for all the living entities of this material world, to give them teaching so they all can attain mercy when they are crying for me. You are my priya dāsy. So all glories to you. You came to bestow mercy upon all living entities. So therefore, Raghunath, cry for me. So I can be attained through crying. So who is crying in the way like you are doing, he can be attained and he can relish my sweetness. So the only way to attain me and to relish my sweetness is to cry. Who can do this, he can attain me. So here Raghunatha is saying, so you cry, and in this way here Radharani is also crying. Radharani's heart is very, very soft. In Ujjvala Nirmani, Radharani's qualities are described. But 25 qualities very special, and she's described as Karunamayi. So her body is melting in compassion. Rupa Goswami gives the example. She is so merciful. An example is given. A young, very, very small calf has taken birth. And this little calf has eaten some grass. Very. And one piece of grass stuck in the mouth. The mouth like of this little calf is so soft because it just had taken birth. So this piece of grass like was stuck in the mouth of this calf, and Kishori, I think, cut a little bit the lip of this calf, the mouth of this little calf, and little blood came out, and Kishori was so in pain. She quickly she brought some kumkum and put it on the mouth of this calf. So how Rupa Goswami is saying here, how soft the heart is of Srimati Radhika. She is serving the cow, this little calf. She has so much compassion for all living entities, even for this little calf, seeing it suffering like this. So Raghunath Das Goswami is the personification of the role of crying. So his tears are flowing into Rādhākunda. So many tears are flying into Rādhākunda. He's crying continuously, Hey Radhe, Hey Kishori ji, give me your darshan. So then Raghunath Das Goswami is thinking, how can I attract Radharani? Nam is not different from Nami. Namayati iti nama. So the holy name is bringing down Nami. If I do Nam, then Nami Radharani will definitely come. So the holy name is the only means to attain, to call Krishna. This is the reason why Raghunath Das Goswami was writing this Rādhikā's Aṣṭottara-Śata-Nāma-Stotraṁ, because he was thinking only the name attracts Nami. I have to do Radha Nam, and then she will come. For sure, Kishori ji will give me her darshan. We should also do Nam continuously, and then we can attract Nami. This way Raghunath Das Goswami is doing this Nam Kirtan, this 108 names of Srimati Radhika. He is glorifying. So in slok number 2, this Nam Kirtan starts now. So in this way, 108 names of Radharani are mentioned in this Aṣṭottaraṁ, and we will hear more tomorrow.